And I'm going to be focusing on adults, by the way. So when we start to look at adults, very often it's evident that there's been a history of trauma, particularly when you get all of the background material. You may read through it. You may notice that even this parent that is sitting in front of you had a history of being involved with child welfare. And so there's absolutely a need to just understand how that background has affected them. And at this point, they're sitting in front of you because there's been an issue with their parenting. And so I want to really focus on utilizing this strategy around parental fitness. The other thing that I would also mention is it is important to have an interdisciplinary approach to this. As we sit in different positions, but it's a document that each of us can utilize. Very often, if you are working in child welfare, you are a worker, you're using this document really to look at case practice and to understand what are the various aspects that have impacted this individual, that have brought them into the child welfare system. And then, what are the recommendations that need to be followed to ameliorate any issues that are happening with this parent? In terms of legally, absolutely the attorney wants to have this document, so again, that they have a thorough understanding of what's been affecting this parent, as well as to be able to advocate for the parent. And if an individual has a history of trauma, but there's been no assessment of that, there's been no discussion around how that's impacting that individual, or what it is that that person needs to really begin to move forward and enhance their parenting, then they're really not able to advocate for the parent in the way that is going to be most productive and necessary. And then this document comes to the hands of so many treatment providers who are working directly with this individual. And yes, as you work directly with a person, we are making an assessment. But with a psychological evaluation, you've utilized objective test measures, you've had a pretty thorough interview process. And so it really provides another level of understanding about how you would want to work with this individual, as well as the treatment goals. So as I mentioned, very often what I have found is that parents have come into the office, or I've read various psychological evaluations where there's been a clear history of trauma, and it may have been talked about in some way, but sometimes it really has not, there's no elaboration on how it's really impacted the parent. Is it a factor around why this parent now is a part of child welfare? And of course, what we want to be able to do is improve that individual's functioning. And so this has been a topic for me that I've spent a lot of time thinking about and a lot of time promoting and actually doing the work. And